Josh, would you consider yourself worthy?
In what way? Because I do consider myself worthy in some ways, but not others.
Worthy enough to own an Hermes?
No.
No.
No. As soon as you said that, no.
Hermes. So for those of you who don't know what Hermes is, could you give an explanation of what Hermes is?
It's a luxury fashion house that deals with high-end items, typically clothes, but they also do sell like houseware and other things like that.
So for those of you who don't know, the number one desired thing from Hermes is their Birkin bag.
Yep, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense because, yes, Hermes is the pinnacle of luxury, and even most fashion experts put them at a top tier, or
Like
if
next
not,
to Dior?
even bigger. They put
Bigger
them,
than Dior?
They put them as one of the highest like luxury fashion houses in the fashion circle.
So the thing with this is that obviously if you have a very popular thing that people want and they don't care about the price, people will just want to buy it. But to Hermes, they don't care, because to them, only the worthy customers can get a Birkin bag. And a class action lawsuit levied in California is aiming to combat this because they think it's unfair that Hermes is able to dictate whether or not someone can buy a Birkin bag.
That's crazy. And those are really expensive. They're super, super expensive. Like literally tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And there's some more very weird and quirky things that go along with buying an Hermes that I learned recently looking at this, looking more into it. But we'll go into that real soon after you consider hitting that subscribe button, hit that like button. We come out with interesting topics like this one daily. So if you want to stay up to date with interesting topics like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So the crazy thing with this Birkin bag thing is that you are selected effectively. And it's only for worthy customers. And the term worthy is used kind of in a sense that you must be a big supporter of the brand, big ambassador, big, basically big purchaser. If you buy a lot of Hermes, you're on the list. You may or may not get a call and say, hey, you want a Birkin bag? And then you can get it. You would still have to buy it, and it's very expensive, but you would have the opportunity to get one.
So for them to do this, because a lot of the times what people do is because they're in such a limited supply, if you do get a Birkin bag, a lot of people hold them because it is people view it as some form of investments, because
it's true.
Birkins typically have gone up in value, and the thing is, when they do show you a Birkin bag, it's typically one that you don't get to choose yourself.
That is true.
Yeah, they choose it for you. In whatever available stock that they do have, they go and tell you, it's like, this is the Birkin bag. Do you want to purchase it or do you not? And the thing is, most times people purchase it because if you purchase the bag, if you sell it on the secondhand market, it's typically going to resell for quite a bit more money. But yes, a lot of people view it in as a form of investment. A lot of people do end up buying the Birkin if presented the opportunity, but they also need to buy like literally thousands of dollars worth of Hermes goods, and not only ranging from their clothes, but other things as well.
Other bags. They also have other bags besides the Birkin that the people will actually want. So you have to buy a bunch of, effectively, to the person who wants the Birkin, effectively it's junk to them because they don't want it. They just want the singular bag. You imagine going to like Safeway and say, I just need eggs. But then to buy eggs, you need to buy like $100 worth of other groceries before you can buy eggs. Like, dude, I just came here for eggs. Like, no.
Yeah.
You can have a chance to buy eggs. We're not going to tell you what kind. You don't get. So it might be white eggs, brown eggs.
They just hand you a carton of eggs. They don't
Here's
even. They don't
you want the
give
eggs
you
or
12.
what?
They give you 11 eggs. They're like, you take it or leave it.
You want eggs? You want an omelet? You got to work with us, okay?
Yeah.
But that is the crazy thing in this fashion industry, where you are effectively at the whim of the manufacturer, where like they have something that you want, and you either take what they give you, or you go onto the or the secondhand market and buy something from there. The crazy thing I've heard is that only the super elite, the people who are the biggest supporters, the like very devoted, very wealthy people, are able to custom order a Birkin.
Oh, okay.
Like, which is unheard of in terms of like just what you said, is that typically they'll lead you to a room, they'll show you the bag, and it's like, do you want it or not? And it's like, well, yeah, I want it. And it's like, okay, well, you can have it for this amount of money, but I also need you to buy
All these
some other things as well, in terms of like to make sure that you're able to get it. And it's like, okay. And then if you do that, then you probably want to go trade it out for some other Birkin, if that's the case.
Yeah.
But I think that is so wild. But it is the trend in terms of like these brands that have a very large draw, and I'll go into other things later.
Yeah, no, it is very, yeah, they know that they could command like this type of like they could command like other people to buy more of their goods for this Birkin bag, because the Birkin bag is so highly sought after, because it's on the arms of celebrities.
Yes.
It's on the arms of very important people.
Yeah, if you
So-
don't have it, you're like, well, why don't you have it?
Yeah, it's true. But and at the same time, it's like it's like what I mentioned, the brand itself has such a long history, and the brand itself has a lot of it's synonymous with quality. So a lot of people like see it as a status symbol. It's like, oh yeah, it's like until you get like a Birkin, that's when you know that you'll make it.
You got a Birkin, but then like when you really made it, there's even a higher tier. It's like,
That's
you have
true.
a personal Birkin.
That is
Then
true.
you know.
It's crazy. It's crazy that that this even happens. I think they're like one of the only people that do this in terms of like this is the item most well known for being like the hardest thing to get. There's
Debatable.
for clothing and fashion.
For clothing and fashion,
I'm trying to think of anything else. Maybe some shoes.
maybe watches.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
consider watches fashion?
Oh yeah. I was just thinking clothing, but
Okay,
like,
but yeah,
but
if
watches
clothing-
too. Watches too with not only Rolex but other
Yeah.
ones. Patek Philippe.
Patek Philippe. And then I mean, there's a whole different watch world as well. But the one other one I was gonna talk about is that automotive brands. So automotive brands, like, they have their halo cars or special edition cars, and those special edition cars are only reserved for effectively the elite of their people. And one of the brands that is most synonymous for cultivating a place where you need to buy a certain amount of cars, not just like bags or items or watches or whatever, cars. And these are not cheap cars either, because they're Ferrari cars.
Cars in general are very expensive, but Ferrari
Yeah.
cars are like on another level.
You're at least spending $100+ grand for like a new Ferrari. Like that's a lot of money.
Way more than that.
That's way more than that. So for these really special cars, like if you had maybe like a LaFerrari or the new different like special like track only version cars, like the special edition cars that are like limited numbers, you need to have like a history with the brand. You need to have multiple cars, and even to like get a like, hey, like, are you interested in this? You need to have multiple. And it's like, okay, well, if you want to get this, you need to have bought like the cheaper ones, like maybe 488 or something, or like maybe now it's maybe like more like SF9. If you bought an SF90, that's like their hybrid kind of supercar. They're more top of the line, but not high. Anyways, effectively, you need to buy a bunch of cars to get in the door for the special cars. And I feel like that's with most brands. Like if you want to get a special Porsche, you need to buy a bunch of Porsches. If you want to get like a special invite to get like a really special Mercedes. You need to have the relationship with like Mercedes, have a bunch of Mercedes. I'm like, it's like, man, that is a cars is
lot.
crazy.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
expensive. Cars are super expensive.
you could buy a lot of Birkin bags.
You could probably
for
buy a lot
one.
of Birkin bags for one.
But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. This right now is like effectively rich people complaining that they can't buy, specifically that like, oh, I want to buy a Birkin, so let me buy a Birkin.
Yeah, because no normal person's going into Hermes and being like, I want a Birkin, because like even itself, it's like that's a lot of money.
Because like if you just go on the website and see what type of bags they have to purchase, like right now, like you can buy a bag from Hermes. Like it's just, you can just go on the website. They have bags available, but it's not the bag. There is the bag, and then there's other bags that they sell.
But for the average person, like their prices are like sky high.
Yes, because the bags they have on Hermes.com are like $4,000. Like that seems excessive for a piece of leather and like something that holds your stuff.
Yeah.
But the Birkins can go even higher, probably like tens to maybe like 20,000. I don't know, like
That's so much
astronomical. It could go probably as high as it needs to go. Really.
I could buy a car. I could buy a car with that much.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. How much would you spend on a bag? And do you think that this lawsuit's even going to go anywhere? Because I feel like a lot of brands kind of follow the same idea where you need to pay to play. Like if you want some really nice stuff, you need to buy a bunch of the other stuff too. So yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments down below.